Welcome to episode 27 of GameSpot After Dark. This is GameSpot's official video game podcast. My name is Jake. I'm your host, and I'm joined this week by Lucy James.
Hi.
You're losing your accent.
Oh, no. Right. I am going to make a concerted effort to be peak British in this episode.
I'm just saying it before all the comments say it, because so far, every episode, someone in the comments has been very sad about your accent that's just fading away.
They've never even heard my real accent. This British one, received pronunciation, is fake. I'm from the north of England. I've got a very strong Geordie accent when I'm drunk or when I'm talking to my mother.
Well,
it is true.
We got a lot of beers over there, hiding behind there. Tam, you're the beer collector. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I just want to say, your hair is looking fantastic right now.
It really is.
I said we weren't going to talk about this.
I know, and that's why I'm talking about it. Right? Don't tell me what I can't do.
It's a great haircut.
It's great.
It's one of those barber shops that has whiskey for free, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yep.
What did you ask for when you got your
manly
haircut?
barber
Whiskey.
shops?
No, as in, what did you say for your hair?
I said,
did you get that? If someone is watching this video, how do they get the Jake?
I said, I want a 2 on the sides with the fade up and a trim up top.
There you go, everyone.
What does that mean?
Get that.
It took me a while to figure it out.
I have to show a picture to the lady. This is
tweet at us and show us your Jake haircuts, whether they look like Jake's or not. Just all haircuts are now called Jake's.
I hope the camera's to me. If it's not, this is going to just look very weird in that camera. Also joining us this week is Callie.
Hello. I'm stealing Lucy's accent.
Hello, mate.
Hello.
Hello. Wait, now.
Hang on.
That is 3 British people in this.
I'm not British.
Also.
You do a very good British accent.
Yeah.
Thank you. When I blame the BBC Pride and Prejudice, 6 hours of Pride and Prejudice.
Oh, the Colin Firth.
Oh God, I love it so much. When I talk to my mom, I get progressively more Valley though.
Yeah.
You do my what?
What? Yeah, when I can't hear Timur, you're the only I don't know. It's not.
Because that's what I do.
I'm not trying to be. It's not like I'm one of those people that's like I just want to be British. I talk to you guys a lot and I like you. So
that's the thing. I live in America now. I live with an American and a Canadian. She's more French than Greg, obviously. But I'm like rogue for accents. Just everything I touch, I just absorb.
I'm desperately holding on to my
I know.
East London accent. Well, my East London accent could be way, way, way worse.
Can you do a roadman?
That's my standard way of speaking, but I won't do it. So I have to speak like this. Like it's not an accent, but it's like a different kind of way of speaking that most people can make sense of. Otherwise, I'd just be like Dizzy Rascal or some nonsense like that.
We had a video meeting one time. It was I think when Chris first moved to the United States and he was going off about how we say water. He was like, water. It's water. Not water.
He's the worst for it now because what did he say? Oh, he started saying water. But he said mobile once.
Mobile,
and I went,
yeah.
how dare you? How dare you?
Randy,
beta instead of beta.
Randy will switch.
Yeah.
He'll say mobile the first time and then he'll say mobile the next time.
Randy's from Australia.
I know, but
Oh, it's the
we're
same.
talking about
I'm
people's
telling
accents.
other people. They're like, who's Randy?
Sorry, Randy's our editor-in-chief.
Yeah.
My sister went off on me once, in a fun way, because I was staying with her and I said, oh, you don't have to pick me up from the train station. I'll get a cab. And she went, oh, a cab. Look at you. And I was like, okay, you have that word in the UK too, please. We call it, you call it taxi.
I mean,
yeah.
She also lives in near Wales and they don't even have Uber there. So
I've been to Wales.
Yeah, just ride
the
animals
The
around.
bus says bus on the side, like BWS. That was pretty cool.
the bus.
The bus. It's my turn.
That's what
The boss.
Me and the was?
The boss. That's what it says. And then I went to a museum or something in Wales and they had Welsh Scrabble and it was really intimidating.
Welsh Scrabble.
Friend of the show, Gav Murphy, the most Welsh man alive. Wow, we've got on such a tangent already. But
We have another Welshman on staff. We have got Dave.
yeah, that's true. But I mean,
They both have beards.
Gav is
like
Gav is so Welsh that we have a WhatsApp group. That sounds like such a setup for a joke.
I really
Gav
sounded like
Murphy is
like
so
a
Welsh.
hacky stand-up.
We have this WhatsApp group, and we were talking about Bite because Rory's on Bite, and getting he's got some really good bites on there. It's very good. Rory has powers.
Rory has powers. Follow him on Bite.
Big fan.
Gav said, "Look at him, gets a few rebites, thinks he's Tom Jones," and I was like, "Gav, what?" And he messaged back and he was like, "Look, I was panicking. The only famous person I could think of was Tom Jones." I was like, "It's the most Welsh thing I've ever heard of."
Well, you know, it's not unusual to think that way.
Whoa!
Oh, that was
There
really
it
good.
is.
Anyway, before we go to what we've been playing, we have a special segment, the Chris from Dayton, Ohio, or Kevin's Chris from Dayton, Ohio 2.0 segment.
It's been upgraded.
It's been upgraded. Normally we save the Chris from Dayton, Ohio segment for when we've got a new guest on. However, we figured we'd run through this updated version with everyone sitting here today. Basically,
Do we need a new jingle?
This has to be like the Redux
Kevin.
Kevin.
Chris.
There it is. We got it. Anyway, he sent us a bunch of questions that we have to answer as quickly as possible. And I figure if I remember, we'll save this for when we have guests on too.
So this is
How are we going to do it? Because it's like four of us, but like a million questions.
so
Are you going to give us like one question each, or is everyone going to answer?
it's rapid fire, so I think Jake should read, answer, then Tam answer, then me answer, then
All
me
right.
answer.
Okay. We'll start right here. In MMOs, DPS, healer, or tank? DPS.
Tank.
Healer.
Heal.
In Pokemon, grass, fire, or water, starter, fire.
Water.
Water.
Fire.
Sonic or Mario?
Mario.
Sonic.
Mario.
Life is Strange or Walking Dead?
Life is
Neither?
Strange.
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead season 1. Life is Strange season 1.
That's both.
I know.
I guess I said neither. So it was
Oh, what did I think? If we can't answer, we're supposed to say sorry, Chris.
Yeah.
sorry, Chris.
Sorry, Kevin.
Sorry, Kevin and Chris.
Yeah.
Gone Home or What Remains of Edith Finch? What Remains of Edith Finch?
Gone home.
Gone home.
Finch.
Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter? Mortal Kombat?
Street Fighter.
Mortal Kombat.
Street Fighter.
Halo, Overwatch, Siege, or Call of Duty? Halo? Probably. Is it or Siege? I don't know.
Halo.
Overwatch.
Mouse and keyboard or controller preferred? Controller.
For first person shooters, mouse and keyboard. For everything else, controller.
Controller.
Controller, but specifically the Xbox Elite 2.
Damn. Prepared. On Rails games or open world? Open world?
Sorry.
Your mouth.
I really hope we have a video of
Wow.
If someone zoom in and give that. Open world.
Open world.
open worlds. But I assume they mean on rails as in like more linear?
Yeah.
Again.
I guess.
Yeah,
Still open
in my mind, I'm thinking of
You know,
like
we could do a 2.1 with some clarifications on these
Yeah.
questions.
Mhm.
Yeah.
where they need
Well,
to
yeah. Kevin can listen to this, maybe get back to us with
patch
some
update.
Yeah.
Some
Patch
patches.
update.
That'd be great.
Yeah, Chris from Dayton, Ohio, 2.1. FPS games, shotgun, assault rifle, or sniper? Sniper.
Sniper.
Assault rifle.
Assault rifle.
Co-op, single player, multiplayer? Single player.
Single player.
Single player.
Single player.
Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, PC, or my favorite, Ouya?
I have one.
I have one as
You
well.
have an Ouya?
Yeah, they tangent sponsored the Eurogamer Expo in 2011,
Just give it
2012,
away. Just give it
and
away.
if you went, you got one for free.
Okay.
If you were near the center, you
They
got
would
one.
give you
If you
an
so
Ouya.
much as looked at through the windows of the convention hall, they'd give you one. My brother came back from the Eurogame show. And
Five
he's
of
like,
them?
I've got 3 Ouyas. And I was like, how? And he was like,
That's-
I don't know.
hey,
they
that's
just
3
appear in my
paperweights.
bag. Yeah. And I was like, put them all in
Well,
the
they,
bin.
they gave you free batteries, so
Yeah.
you could use those batteries in your Xbox 360
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
controller. So
Nintendo probably for me though.
PlayStation.
Nintendo?
PlayStation.
Go represent Bloodborne.
Pop Tarts or toaster strudel? Pop Tarts?
Toaster strudel.
Pop-Tarts, specifically s'mores.
Yeah, those are good.
Pop-Tarts.
Is it cheating if a friend tells you how to beat a part you're stuck on? No.
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 Is it cheating if you save scum? Yes.
No.
No.
Danny O'Dwyer or Dan Reichert?
Oh, I played the fifth.
Danny. I have to.
Yeah, Danny.
He's my boy. I have to.
Yeah.
I like Dan Riker a lot, but too much history with Danny.
Yeah. Danny.
Yeah.
Games on a couch or at a desk? Desk?
Couch.
I actually like desk. Yeah.
Well,
I like bed or desk. I either need to be fully sitting up or lying down completely.
I like going back to the mouse and keyboard question. If I'm playing a first-person shooter, RTS, I delete desk. Yeah.
Can you bear me, please? The blue one.
I play.
Thank you.
I play games on my bed, so anything that's not that.
I'm in that life as well, and it's not pleasant.
No. I was considering getting one of those like chair things from Target, where it's basically the back of a chair and you put it on
Ladies
your
and
bed.
gentlemen, Target. Sorry.
Favorite gaming snack?
Bombay mix.
Oh,
You're gonna say Takis Fuego.
Cheese and crackers.
the Starbucks cheese plate.
There
Dude,
it is.
I love that cheese
It's
plate.
so good.
It's so good.
I have it when we play
Every
Overwatch on a
time.
weekend, but I'm trying not to buy it anymore. I'm
Yeah.
trying to I'm trying to cook more. I bought an Instant Pot.
really proud of
When
you.
you said you weren't getting the
Dude, it has everything. It's got sharp cheddar. It's got brie. It's
got
got
a
apples.
Gouda.
Yeah.
it's
Gouda.
very good.
Gouda.
I think it's Gouda.
No.
Last one.
In the Dutch.
Oh.
Last one. Miyazaki, Sakurai, Miyamoto, or Kojima. Miyazaki?
My man, Miyazaki.
Miyamoto?
Miyazaki.
Damn.
Because I'm
Outnumbered.
playing through Bloodborne again in a minute. So
Oh, what a game that is.
Do you like that game
He says,
more?
wearing a Bloodborne top. Bloodborne. What a game, lads.
you
Can I just throw in Kodaka, the Danganronpa creator?
Dragon
That's my
Grandpa.
All right.
Dragon Grandpa.
Dang it, Ron Paul.
Dang it, Ron Paul's a good one as well, yeah.
Or Danger Grandpa.
Danger
Oh,
Grandpa's
I
a
like
great
Danger
one.
Anyway, that was the Chris from Dayton, Ohio segment 2.0. We'll bring that back. However, Kevin might need to send us some patch notes on that, clarify some things.
Any questions you think like would be more fun? Any questions you thought like oh, there was one about favorite controller. Did you skip preferred controller?
Oh,
we talked about PC or controller, right?
yeah.
But
Yeah,
then,
and then there was
there's
one
another one saying,
preferred-
what's your favorite controller,
of all time.
Oh, I kind of jumped the gun because I said like
You said Xbox.
Yeah,
One.
you
I
said-
Oh, I did skip that one.
Yeah.
Favorite controller? Xbox Elite controller too, I guess, as well.
Yeah,
is, yeah.
yeah.
Elite Controller
It is
2,
the
man.
best
That's
controller.
my
We're big into that
game of
controller.
the year.
Mad Catz TE stick.
But I also really like the Pro controller on Switch.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Pro
Pro
Controller 2.
controllers.
PS2 controller is fantastic.
GameCube controller.
GameCube
Shout out to the
controllers.
GameCube controller.
Shout
I liked
out.
Xbox
Shout out to the
360 a lot.
Nintendo 64
We
controller.
were
Or as
talking
Michael
about-
would say, shouts out.
Shout outs.
Anyway, that was
I missed my mouth again. I keep missing my mouth.
that was Kevin's Chris from Dayton, Ohio 2.0 segment. But now we're moving on to what we've been playing. How should we start this?
I'll just start because mine's nothing. I've just been playing Pokemon. That's it.
What are you doing in it now? Are you still doing
I'm-
breeding?
I've been
Such an innocent question. I was like, what are you doing? What is
are
there
you
left to
still
do?
So the new season of the like ranked battles, online ranked battles started. So I had been laddering on that using Sejun Park's championship invitational team, and I definitely am struggling against Charizard and Torkoal teams. So I bred a Melodic to use as a counter to that. So I'm trying to build a team around that because I was getting so mad at the at the Charizard teams. They're really hard to counter. So
You were really mad at Torkoal for a while.
dude, I
remember that.
hate Torkoal. Torkoal sucks. I hate Torkoal so
I
much.
saw you said Torquil, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
Torkoal.
that's who my mum. It's my mum's friend, Torquil. I was like, why are you mad at him?
Your mum has a friend called Torquil.
My mum also has a friend called Morag.
Morag is the
My
one.
mum
that-
has friends with Just exquisite names. She also goes to the opera with Torquil, which is my
It
favorite.
just sounds like the cast of like a Muppet show.
Yeah. Or Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, very Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've just been I'm trying to figure out right now I'm trying to get an Arcanine. So I have a Whimsicott and I really like Duraludon, which is on Sejun Park's championship team. It's a steel and dragon type Pokemon. And it's a really good boy. So I've just been working on that.
That is good.
I mean, I haven't really been playing much either recently. I played more Modern Warfare, and that's about it. I watched The Outsider, but no one has that on.
Episode 5 was a bit.
Oh, is it bad?
It's
So-
not as bad. It's just
bad.
very slow and like not that much happens.
But
Welcome
at
to
the
the
end,
weekly Outsider segment.
Spooky part that was so spooky.
There was a spooky part.
Ooh.
at the end when they're like, in the coming episodes, it looked nuts.
Oh,
though.
awesome! But I feel like this was a bit of a foul episode.
I watched
It's fine.
4 episodes on Saturday just to
Yeah,
like be like, "Oh, I'm gonna try." It was like 9:30. I was like, I'll watch one and get a flavor of it and see how I feel. No, 4 episodes straight in a row. And I was so glad that my roommate wasn't there because I was like vegging out like
she would care.
she wouldn't care, but like I feel bad. Like I don't want to be like the weird dude stuck in front of a TV for like 4 hours in a row. It's because I'm using her.
She
HBO
would.
TV.
I told her to watch it.
Yeah,
doesn't care.
Yeah, she doesn't
Promise
care.
you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Very,
I-
very, very good. Episode 4 was like, but also it was like interesting. It was more interesting than like thrilling.
yeah.
And that's the other episodes are like thrilling, and then that one's like, oh, that's interesting.
Makes you think.
I was kind of like, I hope he talked to some people of color before writing this episode. Because that was the one awkward thing where it was like, the mystical, mysterious Latina is going to tell you about a monster. And I was like, okay, Stephen King. But then I rebounded off of that. So
It's a good show.
Great show.
Fantastic show.
Tom, you've actually seen something new.
Oh yeah, so I've seen and played something new.
Bloody hell.
Do you want to see or play?
Wait,
let's
hang
start
on.
with C. What?
I'm interested to see what the new thing you've played is, given what you've written on the run sheet.
P5S.
Oh, I misread that as PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
I was like, excuse me?
Yeah, Torn, I walked up and Torn's like, look at this. And then he like opens his drawer and there was a new PS5 in there. Bloodborne 2 as well, right?
Yeah, it's just launch game right there.
I was like, what?
Like, I feel like I would have heard about that. No, P5S.
Yeah, Persona 5 Scramble. The demo for it is out now on the Japanese eShop. Very easy to get on the Japanese eShop. All you really need to know is when you go to the eShop, you press the Persona 5 tile. It's not the big button, it's the button underneath it. Most people press the big button and it's like, pay us. But you want to press
that's the pre-order
down the
button.
yeah. So that's pretty much it. It's really easy to get it. And it's very much a Persona. It feels very much like a Persona game. The gameplay part of it
It's a Muso game.
it's a Musou game, which means Dynasty Warrior style action. But
How many enemies can you fight at once?
Many, a lot. But I played for like an hour, I think. But I only got like 2 small sections of gameplay because like Persona 5 and every other Persona game, very dense in terms of like setup and storytelling. And like I started off by listening to what was going on, and I was like, if I carry on like this, I might never get to play the game before the actual podcast. But it feels very much like a continuation of the Persona 5 game story. Atlas loves doing canonical spin-offs. They do that with like their dancing games and that kind of stuff. So this is very much in the spirit of, this is a follow-on from Persona 5.
It takes place right after Persona 5.
Right.
doesn't
Well,
it?
there's been a gap in time.
It's like
So,
summer.
like,
There's like
yeah,
a couple
so,
months or whatever.
Like, based on my understanding of Japanese, which isn't advanced but enough to get by, is like Joker's been away for a while and returns to like the to see all the friends and family stuff that he's been missing. So the moment you go back to the cafe and you meet Sojiro again, I was like, oh man, like I was overwhelmed. I was like, oh, I missed this, because they use the same music a lot. Like a lot
I was
of
going
it's
to ask
like,
if they would use the same soundtrack.
so they use a lot of the same soundtrack, because the rhythm of the game so far feels very similar to Persona 5. Like you start off in the cafe, and then Morgana literally says, "Let's go to bed," and then you go to sleep and you wake up, and
you can also still explore the city too, right?
You can,
yeah.
Like so you can do that stuff as well. And there's so based on the story, what's happened is there's some sort of investigation team, not the investigation team from Persona 4, an investigation team that are like still got their eyes on Joker and the Phantom Thieves, and then like that's the thread that it starts with, and then it cuts to Joker almost coming home, and everyone kind of like comes home to the cafe, and like lights are off. It looks like it hasn't been touched in ages. Doesn't look like anyone's there. Like as you walk in, the door opens, you can see like dust particles falling. It looks amazing. And then like the lights come on and they're all there, like surprising him to come back. And then like it's so cute. It's just like the small gang and Sojiro, and it's so like cute and like warm, like a warm welcome home. And then they go up and they're planning like they're all talking about how they haven't seen each other in ages. And if you've played that game and invested like 100-ish hours on it, you will feel like, oh man, you will feel like overwhelmed emotionally. Because even I was like, just seeing Sojiro, and he says something like, oh man, it's so good to have you back. And then like later on he says like, troubles come back into my life in a kind of like nice, like melancholic, like teenage son visiting again, and he's up to no good and about to cause a ruckus. But like,
did anyone say Hisashiburi?
No one said Hisashiburi, sadly.
So just to clarify, from what you played, does it seem like it's structured very similar to Persona 5, except instead of maybe the dungeon crawling stuff, it is the Musou?
So it has dungeons.
Oh, it does have dungeons?
It does have dungeons. You get pulled into what looked to be like the metaverse. So like all of the pillars of a Persona game are there. You immediately go to the Velvet Room. When Morgana tells you to go sleep, you wake up in the Velvet Room. Igor is not there, which if you've played Persona 5 will make sense to you for various reasons. But there is like you talk about being the trickster and that kind of stuff, and then you wake up and eventually there's this whole thing is about, it seems like the main first arc of the story, or the first palace, is about a pop star. I forgot her name. I think it's Arisu, which is Alice or something like that. But it's an English name that has a Japanese.
She looks like she's from Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah,
right?
so
because I was watching Ben and John play earlier.
So like it's about her, and she's this like beloved pop star, and then you go to see her because I can't remember who it is, but like one of the guys is there, and you get pulled into like a metaverse version of that area, and it's her palace basically, and you can do a dungeon, and that's where I stopped playing.
Okay.
But it is very much that same kind of style. The Musou stuff is very, very well done from what I played. Like super simple, and like take my excitement levels down a notch, because Persona, like just seeing anything Persona related raises it to a bit like unreasonable levels anyway. So maybe like once I play more of it, I played like a few minutes of it here and there. Maybe if I play more of it, I'll feel different, but it just felt good. Like the Musou stuff where it's just like running around and like you're almost, the enemies that you're facing off against are security. So they've got like masks on them, but they look like security, and I think they're supposed to be Alice's like security team. So you're like hacking and slashing your way through them, but like it works in the strategic elements of Persona 5 and the RPG stuff really well. Like you hold R1 and everything slows and almost freezes actually. And then you've got basically this AoE kind of like indicator, and you can like move that around, and you select spells and magic off that. So if you've got like a massive clump of enemies, you can select a fire spell, and it'll tell you they're weak to this. And then you hit them and they'll all fall over. And then you can press A, or I think it's X, to do like a all-out attack on him.
Ooh.
Can you like swap out what persona you have from what you played?
I haven't seen any of that yet.
It
was just Arsene to start with. But like you could do that tactical stuff. You've got other characters, when they're running around with you, they will sometimes knock over an enemy. And if you press A, Joker will do that jump towards them and execute them. And like you can hop from enemy to enemy, and so you can do like massive stun attacks and drop them and then like move around the battlefield. It's got really interesting traversal. At one point, like you remember at the start of Persona 5 where you had that moment where you're hiding and
You're in the casino.
Yeah, it's a tutorial where it's like moving from point to point, and it does that quick like blur of a movement.
Yeah.
It's got something like that, but you can like look up into the end. There's like a lamppost. We were fighting in like almost like a Shibuya area where it's massively populated, and I saw a lamppost there, and I pressed it, and like, you know how Noctis does his throw of his sword, and you press a button and he appears there and he's like hanging on. You do that as Joker onto like the top of a lamppost, and then you can like move around lampposts like that around the environment, and you can press like X and he'll like swing down and start a spinning kick like Sora does in Kingdom Hearts 3, like a spinning like move and moving between points like massive enemies. It seems like a way more dynamic way to move around the environment. I had Skull with me, and he was fighting and doing various other. His code name is Skull, isn't it?
Yeah.
And doing like he was also fighting alongside me in that dungeon, but it just felt really good, and it felt like a comfortable, familiar experience. They've remixed some tracks, there's a version of Last Surprise, which is it's like a butt rock version of it, and it's amazing. I was listening to it for like 20-30 minutes. Like it was on like a tutorial pop up, and I was like, I'm not gonna press X, I'm just gonna listen to this, and I just listened to it for ages. But it's also got like new animated sequences to kind of thread the story together. It's got an intro. It feels very, very, very faithful to Persona 5.
Good.
So like I was definitely gonna play it and was interested in it. Now I'm like mega hyped for it.
Yeah, I wasn't interested really in it at all because I don't really like Musou games as much as I liked Persona 5, and I figured it would just be all about the combat and maybe a little bit of story. But after hearing you talk about it, it sounds like it's more of that Persona 5 storytelling with some combat and stuff on the side, and it sounds like the combat's pretty good too, which is like, not that I didn't think it was going to be good, but for some reason those kind of games I just have so much trouble.
Yeah.
Like they just get tiring after a while. But if they pull it off, I feel like I could see myself finishing that game.
Yeah.
About like what percentage of the dialogue and story were you able to pick up with your Japanese?
Probably like 50 to 60%. Like I the problem was I started off paying attention, and I was like picking a lot of it up, but then I realized it was gonna keep on going for a really long time, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna button through this instead. So at that point I was just looking at specific words as they appeared just to get enough hit and a trickster, and you're like, oh, I see what's going on. Velvet room, or like, you know, but like it's really, really cool. Like he kind of at the start you get all the team into his room, and everyone's standing there, like Makoto's there, and you know everyone else is Morgana's there, and they're all kind of hanging out, and you're like, I remember this. This is like it's like reuniting with friends. It genuinely felt that way, and I was like, I'm into this. I really like this.
I'm excited too because I feel like there wasn't enough of the whole entire crew together in that game because you didn't really get everyone together until the last dungeon or second to last dungeon, I think. So it'll be nice to, in theory, I guess, play an entire game where it is all of the Phantom Thieves together in a room planning what they're gonna do.
And that happens in Persona all the time, like with Haru in 5 and Naoto in 4. Like there's such good characters, and then you never get to hang out with them.
But they seem to be like connected, or brought together way early. And there's like some sort of conceit happening with, you know, they had their phone in 5. They've now got basically Siri, like an AI virtual assistant, is going to play into it.
Is that Futaba at all?
Futaba is no. So I think it's just like a generic AI like Siri on all phones, but it will play in. But Futaba obviously is the one who like tells Joker about it, because like it starts speaking, and they're organizing a camping trip through the AI companion thing. So I think it's gonna have some sort of like big element or presence in the story, but we'll see how that figures out.
Cool. And there's no release date for the United States, right?
Not in the States. No, it's coming out soon in Japan, but not in the States.
What about the new character in Persona 5 Royal? Any signs of her?
There's no signs of her in the in P5S yet. But I don't know. It feels like maybe like she'll cameo, but I don't know if she'll be like a core part of the story, given when it is. I don't know.
Well, what did you watch?
I watched Birds of Prey, which is
I want to see that so bad.
I was not excited for that movie at all because I was like, oh, it's a DC. I mean, my roommate's been watching all the DC movies, and so
Rest in peace. It's very unfortunate.
We watched Man of Steel a couple weeks ago, and I was like,
The Snyder Cut.
we did watch the Snyder Cut.
I watched the review of Suicide Squad. We're obviously talking about Kind of Funny's DCEU in review.
Yeah.
And they tore that movie up, which it rightly deserves.
I wish I recorded the moment on Sunday where we were all hanging out in our apartment and Greg goes, today's going to be awesome. Like, have friends around. Jen and Ali are cooking. They made pizza from scratch. It was incredible.
Dang.
God.
They made dill pickle pizza, and it's the greatest thing I've ever had in my life.
I feel so inadequate hearing about her cooking skills.
Ali, plug for Ali's, she runs Andy's Town, or she works at Andy's Town in San Francisco. So if you're there and you want some incredible food, go. Anyway, and Greg was like, we're going to have pizza, we're going to have wings, we're going to watch the Super Bowl,
Classic Greg.
then we're going to watch The Outsider, it's going to be great. And then his face dropped, and then he went, gotta watch Suicide Squad because they had to film it I think on Monday. They couldn't film it on Tuesday, which is what they normally do. And the moment it was the Ralph Wiggum, you can almost see his heart ripping through. And I was like in the kitchen, I was cleaning up and stuff, and they're like, Luce, do you want to watch Suicide Squad? I was like,
Not at all.
absolutely
No
not.
chance. It's such a bad movie.
I haven't seen it. I won't
mate,
see it. I
if you
refuse
want
to.
a lesson, or like if you want to see a movie that's obviously compromised on a writing, shooting, editing standpoint, watch that film. And it's an Academy Award-winning film.
But Birds
Wait.
of Prey is apparent.
Apparently good.
What Academy Award did
I
it?
think it was
Costume and makeup.
Costume and makeup, yeah.
Okay.
And the costume makeup is not good. But Birds of Prey, excellent film.
Because what was it up against that year? I remember this huge I don't remember.
Yeah,
Birds of
but
Prey.
it won. But Birds of Prey is a very, very good film. Like, it doesn't really lean too hard on the EU stuff. Like, all you really need to know is that Harley Quinn was dating the Joker, and it begins with her breaking up with the Joker, and it's about her emancipation. Good for her. And this is like a really narrative. It is the most narratively consistent movie Warner Bros. And DC have put out ever, and like that includes Batman, Superman. Maybe
Doesn't
like,
include the Dark Knight trilogy here, does it?
no. We're not talking about. I'm talking about like the EU
We
stuff.
love the Dark
Yeah.
Knight trilogy here
Yeah.
at GameSpot After Dark.
Yes,
Yeah.
We do not.
We don't
talk
even
bad
count it
about
in the same league.
No, they're a
It's not
different
even
universe.
its
Yeah.
own
Rises
thing.
is.
I'm talking.
Dark
Rises
Knight
is like.
Rises,
Rises,
We don't.
But Dark Knight is.
But Dark
Got some
Knight
good
is like
memes out of Rice.
so good. Dark
Yeah.
Knight Rises is okay. It's fine.
Yeah, it's
I was born in the shadow, crashing this plane.
I love that man.
It's-
So we will not talk
Yeah.
bad about him.
As
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
Yeah, but that movie is really, really good. So it's the narrative device that they use is more like ambitious than any of the other movies, and at the same time it manages to be like you understand what the story is, you understand the motivations behind each character, even if they're somewhat like ridiculous at times, but that's kind of the point with Harley Quinn and the group of people that she kind of collects together or come together in that movie. It's not a team movie. It's not like she's put together the Birds of Prey, which is a team in the
assembled them.
DC. It's like there's one central story and one character, and but at the same time there's other characters around this story that have their own motivations, and it just so happens the story brings them all together in a way that's believable. And it all kind of hangs on Cassandra Cain, who is, she's a well-known character in the DC. She becomes Batgirl.
Who is this? James Gunn directed?
No, this is directed
he's doing
by...
the Suicide
Okay,
Squad.
he's doing the Suicide.
Suicide Squad. Yeah,
Written
directed
and
this
directed by
thing?
women.
Yeah, this is an all-female. I can't remember the director's name, not because any reason, but like
What?
not because
It's fine. Don't
I forgot
we
the
don't
name,
care.
but I
It's
just
fine.
don't
They
remember
haven't been putting them
seeing
forward
it.
in
That's,
the
But it is written and directed by women.
Yeah. So like that's the problem. Not problem. That's the thing that I had. I was gonna say that's the problem with this movie. It's like so much of it has been focused on Harley Quinn and Margot Robbie, which is fine. Like she's great in the movie, but like It's directed by Kathy Yan. But there's so much more talent around it that just didn't
Mary
really.
Elizabeth
Mary Elizabeth
Winstead.
Winstead's in it, and she plays Huntress, which is one of my favorite characters in the DC universe.
She's still dating Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor is in this movie.
How's his
That's
accent?
why I asked.
Yeah, he's in this movie. I mean,
Which of his limited American accents is he doing in this one?
he's doing his accent slips. It's fine. It slips when he gets angry and shouts,
There you go.
and then you're like, I have the high ground, and you're like, all right, whatever, mate. But that's one of the things that I found to be like, oh man, I wish they had marketed this better by talking about the director. I didn't know her name until like it came up on screen, and then I promptly forgot it because I'm bad with names. But like that's a problem with that movie. Like Mary Elizabeth Winstead's amazing.
I just want to say for the record that I've been in love with her since Sky
Yeah.
High.
She's
I
fantastic.
haven't seen Sky High, but I loved her in Scott Pilgrim and
Scott
Cloverfield,
She's amazing in
really
10
good in 10
Cloverfield Lane.
which was a
Lane.
great
Yeah.
movie until the last 5 minutes.
That is true. And then there's like Rosie Perez is in it.
Ooh.
She plays Renee Montoya, who, if you know Gotham City PD or any
Imposters,
sort
I
of
thought you were gonna say.
if you know Gotham City Imposters,
What game?
can't help you. She plays Renee Montoya, who's a pretty big deal in the Batman universe. Mary Elizabeth Winstead. There's like a bunch of there's Dina Lance is in there, so Black Canary's in there. The way it brings the characters together is really like believable, and it's like a proper popcorn blockbuster movie that you should see in cinemas, just because it's raucous and it's like over the top in every way. It starts off feeling a bit try hard, like because
That's my fear from all the marketing has been very.
it has intense Suicide Squad energy to start with, and you're like, oh, I wish they'd like, because it's Margot Robbie's narrating the movie at the same time, and like an event will happen, and then they'll be like, oh, to understand this, we need to rewind to this point.
Yeah.
And they do that, and it's like, all right, it starts off kind of weird, but then all the pieces come together, and there's some. It's not. I didn't find it funny personally. I could see the jokes were appearing, they weren't landing with me.
Yeah.
But people around me were like, like people were loving it, and I was like,
Did you go back to England for those polite laughs?
I wish. But like it was like
Business.
edgy and like in a way that I think like a movie crowd can get on with. And it had another thing that it had that I feel like was annoying me was it retained the motion graphic sequences from Suicide Squad, which were put in there to paper over the fact that a lot of characters didn't have development. They develop basically just Deadshot in Suicide Squad.
Brilliant.
And no one else. But Harley, obviously, because she's like one of the main stars, and like it reminded me of that. But eventually I got past that, and it was like just a real fun film. Huntress is amazing, the story's good, and it's like if you're like appropriately sourced up, you could probably have a good fun time laughing at it as well. Like I was like there, and I spoke to, bringing it back to kind of funny folks again, Andy afterwards and Nick. They were in the same screen, and they both agreed that it was fun and good.
That's good. Yeah.
I think it's easily the top 2 movies in a DC.
What's the other one?
Shazam.
Oh yeah, Shazam was
Dude, Shazam was so
Shazam
fun.
is
I like
good,
Shazam.
and it's got the same kind of like well thought out, well paced, like endearing quality to it. It's slightly more edgy and it's slightly more over the top, but it's still a good film. A good DC movie is a rarity. A good blockbuster DC movie is a rarity. Like Joker's fine, but it's not blockbuster. Or it wasn't on a blockbuster budget, but they are a rarity, and this is like really, really fun. I would be surprised if another one doesn't come out with this same squad or even more people.
This Suicide Squad.
This Birds of Prey. But yeah, fun film. Enjoyed it. Go watch it.
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah.
Basically has nothing to do with the comics, so you're fine. Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know anyway.
Yeah.
Lucy, I think all of us have been playing a little bit of this game, but you have it down on your name, and this will segue into our next segment. So
Just
why
like
don't you take
last
it away?
week.
Ew, yeah, been playing a lot of Apex Legends Assimilation. Oh, I've been mostly playing with Tam on lunchtimes. Apex and I have a weird relationship in that I know I talk about Overwatch all the time. Overwatch is like my game because I'm good at it and we win a lot when we play because there's a group of us that play every weekend and we win a lot. We're good at Overwatch. Apex is like me, Tam, and Cardi usually playing. But because of just the nature of Apex, you know, when you play Overwatch, there's 2 teams. One team will win.
50% chance.
50% chance, right? And then you get extra rewards like the play of the game and the medals, the cards at the end, right? Apex doesn't give me that immediate like satisfaction, and it doesn't give me the
positive reinforcement
that I need because we don't win as much in Apex.
Yeah, it's hard to win.
It's hard to win. There's a lot more people that you're competing against. Anyway, that's my relationship with Apex. So usually I go on tilt when we play Apex for a long time, and then I'm like, I have to play Overwatch.
It's like 3 games max.
Yeah, 3. Yeah, I have like yeah. I wish I could say that I was less reliant on winning, but no, I want that.
I think too with Apex because I played a little bit last night and. Because the games are much shorter than PUBG, for example, but because those games are longer and every time you restart, it's like, all right, I'm starting fresh. I'm starting with nothing. It's kind of hard to just keep going, at least for me at this point.
Yeah.
But part of that is just because I played so much PUBG that kind of hit my limit with Battle Royale, I think.
That's fair. But with this simulation, so season 4, I was kind of, you know, Season 3 didn't do anything for me. I wasn't interested in crypto. I didn't even get Watson. I didn't get Mirage. I didn't get Caustic. None of the legends other than Octane, like post-release, have really appealed to me. But going into a simulation, I was like, this guy is Reaper mixed with Zarya. I want him. And I bought God, I'm going to call him Reaper so many times. I bought Revenant straight away because I had amassed all these coins because I didn't buy anything in Apex because the stuff
skins
doesn't really,
are crap.
I like the skins.
Some
Some of them are cool.
They've been getting better recently, but a lot of the gun skins are like, why would you buy this?
Yeah.
The guns,
the
like
gun
only
skins
the
are like,
epic gun skins are good.
Yeah.
But I think I like the player skins.
Yeah, those are fine.
good.
But like the gun skins, you wouldn't spend your like weird Apex bucks on them. It's like
So I had a bunch, and I just bought him immediately, and he is so fun to play. He's really kind of. I'm thinking more about Apex now than I'm thinking about Overwatch, which is a huge rarity. And I think the map changes are really fun. But most of all, Revenant, I know I've said this on the podcast before, but I wish you could mute characters in Apex. Like,
he's very rude.
He's really, I mean, he's also Reinhardt's voice actor, which is very confusing for me because, you know, you usually always have a Reinhardt, at least on a payload map anyway, or a defense map. Anyway, it's very confusing, and I keep wanting to call him Reaper, but his moveset is really fun. So he has this kind of, his L1 is it's like a mini Zarya grab ball type thing that damages you slightly, but also
it's like an EMP, right?
Yeah, nullifies abilities, which is super useful. His death totem,
not an EMP, but you know,
I know what you mean.
Can't use abilities,
Yeah. He has this death totem, so if you want to engage in a fight, you can place it, you know, just away from the fight, interact with it, and then if you die, you immediately respawn back there. But with like 10 health or 1 health,
I've never actually used it.
It's 1.
I'm pretty sure it's 1.
Yeah.
So if like the circle's closing and it's outside the circle that you leave, or that your Revenant leaves it in, and then you respawn, you'll just die right away.
But you know, he moves faster. He's
climbed higher.
He climbs higher, further, faster.
Yeah.
He's just a lot of fun, and it was kind of the shot in the arm that I needed to get more into Apex. And I think in my first game with him, you know, usually you have that weird adjustment period, but he just felt right.
Yeah, he's got a lot of good like pass. I like his crouch walking speed. It's really fast.
Yeah,
I like being sneaky, so I use that a lot. I think Simulation's got a bunch of other changes to it that are quite impactful in how you play. Like sniper ammo is now unique ammo,
yeah,
and I like to have I like to have the DMR longbow as a sniper rifle, and then also have a heavy weapon like the Spitfire or something like that, because that's just my style.
I've become obsessed with Spitfire recently.
Spitfire's great, but that
Flatline.
It's always been Spitfire's always been my best gun in Apex. For some reason, when I get that early on, I can do incredibly well.
Yeah. But prior to this season, they would both use heavy ammo, and that made like ammo retention and also like how you use it are quite limited. You have to be very careful, and if you use too much of one and like got into a close quarters combat fight with and had to pull out your Spitfire, you might have not enough ammo to really engage. So now they've split it out, so a lot of the sniper rifles use unique sniper ammo, which has made it way more appealing to play that style that we would play. So that's been a massive change. Also, they've done things like there's a hop-up that's been removed.
Turbocharge is
gone.
Which sucks because I like the Havoc a lot.
Weird. Yeah, because now I don't want the Havoc.
Yeah.
Now the Havoc's like,
They've changed it. Haven't they changed it so the Havoc it has less horizontal sort of recoil
I think
or
so,
something?
yeah. And
So is it gone?
Yeah.
Or is it okay?
Out.
it's just not there, yeah.
Right.
Taking it out completely.
The L-Star is now just a weapon that you can find anywhere instead of a drop pod weapon.
Yeah, I used it and I was like, this gun's not as good as
No.
everyone told. And then I was told it was because it's been nerfed or changed.
Yeah, it's not that great. The other thing is like there's certain characters that are like they take more damage now.
Wraith takes more
yeah, so
because
it's
she
like-
Revenant takes it's like a 5%.
Yeah, 5%. It's Revenant, Wraith, Lifeline.
Yeah.
I think they're like generally like harder to hit characters. They take more damage now. So
Also, Bloodhound's ult got buffed, and it's something like if you get more kills with it, you get a longer addition to
if you
that
knock
ult.
an enemy
Nice.
down as a Bloodhound, it extends the amount of time you're in Beast of the Hunt.
There is a
which is
clip
good.
going around on Reddit that's insane.
Yeah.
This person is using Bloodhound, and they just get, I think, 5 knockdowns and then the win. It's very cool.
Yeah, there's loads of like small tweaks to the way the game plays that have made it like a little more interesting and engaging to jump back in. I think I'm the same as Lucy. I get annoyed after a while with that game just because it's like, oh, we've dropped in a place that's just not good, or if you're playing as a 2, like you're always stuck with someone who's inevitably and invariably going to
jump
be
so low.
or disconnect or just run off somewhere else and do something, or engage in a fight that you can't win.
The worst is when they die and you can heal them and grab their tag and they quit before you do it. And it's like, well,
Cool.
why even
or
try?
they constantly spam the like respawn
Yeah.
beacon.
Yeah, you're like,
I hate that song.
I
Relax.
see you.
But yeah,
I will say, playing last night after not playing for a while, I don't like that map at World's End.
World's
or whatever.
End?
I don't like. It's too big. Too much of a focus on long range. I miss Kings Canyon. I know they're bringing it back. March 24th or
Yeah, because
something
they're
like
splitting
that.
the season.
So I think I'm gonna definitely come back to it again when that comes around. But I think what I played last night was like, that's probably all I need of Apex for now, unless they add something else in between. Because I really do miss Kings Canyon. I thought that map was really good.
Yeah.
And World's End has some cool areas to it, but just like everything just seems so far apart for that kind of style of battle royale. Like with PUBG, it was like, everything felt like a mile apart, but at least
miss
in the
PUBG
original
so
map.
much.
I know, I do too. Go back to playing that.
I love PUBG.
Yeah, I think the scavenging in that game was a bit too intense for me. There's a lot of downtime.
That's the whole game for me,
Yeah.
baby. I am scavenging all day. Playing Apex is hard for me because I just really like slow battle royale. So when I played with like John, Luke, and Ben, we were all like, what if we didn't drop spicy and we dropped somewhere really safe and then we got a bunch of gear and then we died like in 15 minutes? That'd be the best. And it was fun. That's just how I play.
Well, like with PUBG too, those firefights I feel like would last so long because you could see each other, you knew where they were, but you didn't have any information other than that, and you'd just be in a town, and you'd be hiding in a building, and you knew they were hiding in a building, but you were like, all right, who's gonna make the first move? And then the circle would force you to make a move, and it was so tense.
I miss that game every day.
I haven't played it in so long.
In Black Ops 4, I will stand by Black Ops being like
It's good.
polished PUBG.
Yeah.
Everything I wanted from PUBG, but like it worked.
I have a theory that I think this next season of Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which starts next week, actually, I think there's going to be a battle royale map. I think a battle royale map was already leaked for this Call of Duty game, but
We'll make sure to call my dad again and get his
his take on it. Yeah.
Official correspondent for Call of Duty.
Call of Duty correspondent.
Callie's dad.
That's his dream job.
Yeah. Sounds alright, to be fair. But yeah, it's good. I'm enjoying Assimilation. Like I got the character the same way, and then I spent the other of the 3 virtual currencies to get like a cool skin for it, and I'm like, I'm good now.
What is it? It's hero points. It's crafting,
I crafted a new skin.
and then it's
Yeah.
like just a microtransaction
Yeah,
currency,
yeah.
right?
Mm.
Yeah.
So
Or
I
legend
crafted.
points. Legend points, which is the stupidest thing, but it's there.
I do want to try Revenant. I mean, I very rarely strayed from Lifeline. I was so comfortable playing Lifeline,
Mm.
and it would be nice to kind of branch out a little bit.
He's a lot of fun. I like
So
him a lot.
we were playing earlier, and there was that third random person, and every time you ping something, Revenant goes, "Go there now."
Oh
And you're
yeah,
like,
it's like I'm not gonna thank you. It's like
You're
stop
like,
being so
"All right, mate,
edgy,
relax."
okay?
Or if he heals someone, he's like, I shouldn't even heal you, but
yeah.
at least you,
Like,
it's another target for that, or something like
settle
that.
down.
Yeah, you're like, relax, man.
I
Tomorrow,
like
can I have a beer?
Jordan Ramey on our team had a whole like
Sure.
fanfic in his head about
oh
them
yeah.
being gay dads and
Oh, with who? With Caustic?
with yeah.
Yeah.
Jordan's always creating fanfic.
Someone asked us if we could say what beer we have
Oh,
on
Oh
it,
right.
this episode, so I figured this is the grapefruit hop nosh.
Yeah. So this is a Deschutes, which is not spelled like this, but it's like Deschutes. So, but it's a Pilsner.
it looks like a kid's like a.
And tomorrow's, did you
This
just
is-
pour,
Juice
did you pour the
box, yeah.
Diet Coke?
This is
I
Diet
got?
Coke and a blood
pour
bowl
the
flask.
Diet
I
Coke in the-
wondered.
But you gotta
Listen,
keep the brand.
I'm not gonna shill Diet Coke. I will shill Bloodborne. Good game. Get on it.
This
Great.
is listen. This is only 4%.
Mm.
So, you know, it's not a
Deschutes?
bad thing that I've already had one.
No.
So-
The goal with this podcast, I think, is like, well, one of the many goals is that if we start doing ads and stuff like that, red ads, they should only be for beer.
Yeah.
We have to
Oh.
get that brand, you know?
Drink
Someone-
responsibly.
Drink responsibly.
Responsibly.
Tweet at the company that makes this beer. What is it?
This is Deschutes.
Junta.
Yeah. Tweet at Deschutes.
Bend, Oregon, which is we have insider. We have an inside man in Bend,
Bend,
Oregon.
Oregon,
so-
yeah.
Oh
do.
yeah, my boss.
Tweet at the company that makes this beer. Tell them to sponsor us.
News.
Yeah. Let's,
So anyway, more news.
Last of Us Part 2 gets
It's
a
getting spicy.
detailed rating,
Are
right?
we surprised?
Well,
No.
not for the violence,
So
right?
the actual the story here isn't that it's an M.
Oh.
Last of Us 1 got an M. It's the descriptors that they use. It's worth keeping in mind that these at the time of like publishing the details weren't finalized. They could be placeholder, but usually they're a good indication of what's going to be in the game. So the original Last of Us, the game featured warnings for blood and gore, intense violence, sexual themes, and strong language. That got an M. Last of Us 2's also got an M, but it's got sexual themes. It's got intense violence. It's got drug use,
Oh, the marijuana.
yeah, I was gonna say I saw the drug use in the demo
Yeah.
I went to.
partial nudity.
Oh.
So those are the main ones that are different. So it's intense violence, blood and gore, nudity, sexual content, strong language, and use of drugs. So it's like hard M, very mature.
What were the sexual themes in the original Last of Us?
Did you not see those bloaters? Damn,
Um,
absolutely can get it.
I think it may have been
was
something
it
in
to
like
do with Ellie when she gets kidnapped in winter?
that could have
That
been
was-
it.
There was,
Yeah.
there was
has a
like
sexual-
he was
It has a rapey vibe.
Yeah.
Wrong
Big-
in themes.
wrong in themes.
Wrong in themes.
Yeah.
I think some of the stuff that the NPC said too was also like
Yeah.
sexual. Like
I was talking about the
fell into
bloaters.
that, Yeah,
They're
like the
I-
bloaters.
Baby, I'm gonna blow up.
Oh.
I am nervous about potential rape
Yeah.
content in the game. I often think that the portrayal of rape in fiction is not handled well and is unnecessary.
Do you think that's the case in? I mean, it wasn't in. Well, I guess it was in Last of Us 1.
I mean,
It's because it's
sort-
implied in a lot of ways, right?
I prefer it to be implied rather than explicit.
Yeah, obviously.
So.
No one wants to- but
I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
yeah, we'll see. Like a benefit of the doubt, I guess.
But
for
the
now.
drug use, I bet, is just weed.
Oh yeah.
So, like in California, we're like, okay.
Whatever. But yeah, it's gonna be a hard M. Please be excited.
Please understand.
Please understand.
When's it come out? May 20 something? May 19th?
I don't remember.
Or April?
what?
Because it has changed.
It's changed so much now.
I know, it was supposed
I've
to come out
lost track
February.
of when.
It was supposed to come out February 27th.
I have
It
a
was supposed to come out this
calendar.
month.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
I use that board in front of us now.
Oh yeah, you've got the.
I've got
Oh,
a
you have a
giant
whiteboard.
board, yeah.
I have a special calendar just for me.
May 29th.
May 29th. All right.
Yeah, there is.
End of May. I don't like it when games come out at the end of a month because then it's like I gotta wait through the entire month to play this game. Like Animal
You
Crossing.
didn't know when it was coming out a
I
minute
didn't.
ago.
Well, now I know, and now I'm bummed because Animal Crossing comes out March 20th, and I'm like, I have to wait through all of February and then almost all of March to play Animal Crossing. When it's like, couldn't you just really like? It's probably done, knowing Nintendo. Couldn't you just do like March?
Jake, we
Second.
get games early.
Well, that's true, but you know,
I've got Animal
Still.
Crossing now.
no, you
I'm-
don't, you liar.
The only
I've got a PlayStation 5 in my drawer.
You got PlayStation 5. I've seen it. It's there.
the timing of The Last of Us is just like we're gonna be so like it's gonna be like E3 stress is rising.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's what they
So.
did for the first one.
I think I'm actually going back to London at that time as well.
I am too.
Yeah.
No,
A
my
knife.
friend's getting married.
Oh, tell him to postpone it.
Oh, I've genuinely devastated myself.
Also, we're probably gonna call this episode Tomorrow's PS5.
Oh, wow.
It's a little bit of
Just, I'm into it.
Misdirection.
I'll take that for the SEO bump. I'll take the hit for the comments for the SEO
clout
bump.
hit.
Yeah, I'll take the clout hit for the SEO bump.
So in
Equivalent
conclusion,
exchange.
The Last of Us Part 2 is gonna be spicy.
Oh yeah. I'm very excited for that game.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
I love The Last of Us. I just want to plug my lovely roommate Jen, who she can't really play open world games because she gets motion sick. It was a horrible time for all of us at the house. She dry heaved her way through The Last of Us because she was so into it. She had to take Dramamine to play it, and Max and I were just like sitting in the other
Buckets.
part of the living room, like, please finish the game soon.
Oh my god.
Well, she'll be excited to hear that this one is supposed to be the longest game Naughty Dog has ever made. So
Yeah, well.
Just a hot 30
She's
hours
stuck
of
up on that.
driving.
Yeah, she does better on the Switch, but it's not coming to Switch, so she'll just have to suffer.
Get the Vita. The
Oh,
old
yeah.
remote play.
Yeah, that'll help.
Vita's not dead.
Played Last of Us 2 on a Vita.
If it means she won't heave her way through the game, I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
Speaking of your PlayStation 5, did you know they launched a website about your console tomorrow?
I do, yeah. It's the driest website. You
I know,
just
it's
go
just
there
like-
and it's like PS5 and you're like, yeah, thanks. And
Knowing our luck, they'll announce like the PlayStation meeting before this
right
episode
now,
goes up.
yeah,
I know.
probably.
Yeah.
Well, actually, there's a bit of text on there on that website, and it says we're not ready to provide more details on
Oh my
PlayStation
God.
5 now. So there's been this rumor that's been kicked about for a while about a February event for PlayStation 5, and the rumor is like it's gone from like slightly believable to like insane, where
Mhm.
it's like, oh, it's gonna be in February, but also they're gonna announce Final Fantasy 16 and also Demon Souls Remaster is gonna be released that day, and you're like, don't know what's going on here.
That's like these Nintendo Directs. I feel like when Nintendo goes long enough without having a Nintendo Direct, everyone's like, it's got to be this week. This week
Gotta
is
be
the
Mother.
Nintendo Direct week.
Gotta be
Well,
Mother's
there's one
Day.
specific person that does
Well,
it.
I saw other people, and then I'd go on YouTube, and it would just be like, here's all my Nintendo Direct predictions, and it's like, there's not even a Nintendo Direct announced. Like, cut it out with your predictions. And also, everyone always says Metroid trilogy for their prediction, and there hasn't been a Metroid trilogy in the past 5 Directs, even though that's always their prediction.
I mean, I think Metroid Prime Trilogy
Trilogy.
will
I'll say
come.
you're
I
really
think it'll
cute.
happen.
Yeah.
But you know, Nintendo's Nintendo. They'll wait until everyone's tired of like expecting it, and then they'll be like, here it is.
And everyone will go, all right, fine.
Yeah.
They'll be like, and it's out today, and then I will cry.
Yeah. But like there's some stuff that is in that PlayStation 5 stuff that you're like, I can see it.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah.
But
Like what?
Yeah.
Square Enix making
I need
another
to be
Final
very
Fantasy
careful.
game.
Final
here.
Fantasy 16?
I need to be very careful. here.
Demon Souls Remastered?
I am not saying anything about anything. I have no information that I'm willing to share publicly.
I have no information at all. So
but yeah, it's like they're definitely not doing a it doesn't seem like they're doing a kind of like a surprise event soon anyway, because a lot of the people, everyone thought they'll do because they did it for the PlayStation 4 where it's like in New York in the Sony Center, flying people over to see it, etc., etc. That's too much of a big thing for to pull off in a week, so it's like not happening. So yeah, that website's there if you want to look at a PlayStation 5 logo on another place. I don't know.
Come to Tom's desk if you want to look at the.
Yeah, if you want to see the actual PlayStation 5, hit me up. I'll tell you can't see it.
Yeah, DMs are open, right?
DMs are open. Ask me if you want the PlayStation 5. I'll send you a picture. If you DM me and ask for a PlayStation 5, I will send you a picture.
Oh.
A picture.
Yeah, he didn't specify what kind of.
What?
be careful there.
In other news, Dan Houser leaves Rockstar Games, which took me by surprise yesterday because for some background, Dan Houser is credited to writing every single GTA game, even like the PSP games, even like the DS games like Chinatown Wars and stuff like that, as well as Bully, Max Payne 3, Red Dead Redemption 2. I think even like one of the Midnight Club games as well. So he's had
Rockstar Presents Table Tennis. He wrote the story in that.
He did write the story. Actually,
he wrote the ping and then the pong. He's like, here's the script. It's like 500 pages, like ping on the first page, and then just loads of dead trees, and then pong at the end. Like, right, whatever.
That's wild though. I didn't expect him. And then the note that said that he'd gone was like, took an extended leave spring last year. I was like, my man has worked on some of the biggest games of all time. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like it's pretty normal, right? Especially like you're going to take a long break after you ship a game like that, at least if you're at that level, I imagine you can. Yeah. But like, I cannot picture what GTA 6 would look like without him. And I don't want to like...
I mean, Sam's still there.
Sam is still there, but he's a lot of like
chief
producing and like business side, right? And like, I don't want to say that he's the only one who makes those games because he's not. He's one person of a massive team.
Yeah.
But still... That idea, I feel like you can kind of follow through all of them. You kind of trace back to him, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, like he's that kind of way of like finishing a game and then having an extended break and then just quietly trying to disappear. Not trying to, because they dropped it in like a mega dry like financial document that information. And that kind of process was the same thing that happened to Leslie Benzies.
Yeah. The Benz.
Yeah, the Benz. And it happens to a lot of like senior executives in that same way. But there was an interesting like quote a little while back about them talking about how they're gonna make GTA 6, and they were saying like, we do not know how we're gonna make it because like politics right now is such a joke, and it's like both sides of the fence are so like a parody of themselves that our game is just like what would it even be?
Make the joke about.
I feel like Donald Trump was the president in all of the GTA games, and now it's like, oh, he is though.
And like that's the problem they face now. The world that they satire is almost our world now. So it's like,
We mean, Watch Dogs Legion's gonna have the same problem with Brexit, right?
I don't doubt that there will be a GTA 6, but like I'm interested to see what that is. But like
we're just in that stage of like, you can't write this shit.
Yeah, it's impeachment results day, by the way, if you're wondering the time frame of when we're recording this.
But like, shout out to him. He's going out on having had a major role in the best-selling game of this generation, and then
of all time, right?
Yeah, like GTA 5,
two of them.
GTA
two of the
5
top 10.
and Red Dead.
I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is like a very good game to go out on, especially for
it's an insane game to go out
when you track like the themes of his games and how they all kind of led up. Of their games and led up to Red Dead Redemption 2. Like it's almost poetic that would be his last game to be a part of.
Yeah.
At least Rockstar game.
That's very cool. I didn't think of it that way.
I was thinking about that and I was like, that makes sense. And honestly, like, I don't know where you'd go from there. Like the expectations for GTA 6 are probably insane. They are insane.
Yeah. I mean, if anyone can pull it off, it's them.
All I want for GTA 6 is strippers gone rogue, basically.
It's not a bad idea.
Definitely pitched this before on podcasts. It's like, I want to be the stripper who gets information at work and uses that for crime. That's the GTA I want. So that's it just, Rockstar, if you're listening, like that's where you go from here. But like that's just me, like Hustlers, but GTA. So that's free. You can have that for free.
Wait, May, you
Bully
should
2.
get some royalties for that.
Actually, you
think
can
of the
pay
royalties.
me. You can pay me for that idea.
Bully 2 was what I figured they'd follow up with because of how big Red Dead Redemption is, how long that took to make. I figured everyone wants a Bully 2 so bad, or a lot of people want a Bully 2 so bad, and I feel like that would be the perfect game to go back to just because it's by nature a lot smaller in scale, probably shorter. I think
he went to a sprawling university campus.
Yeah.
I reckon they just take Jimmy and put him in like an actual GTA sized game where he's a full on criminal now, and Jimmy is just the star of the next GTA.
That would be a Rockstar thing to do. That would be
That'd be
disappointing though, because
because it's not strippers.
Well,
committing crimes.
that and like the thing I kind of took away from Bully was that Jimmy wasn't actually like
Yeah, he
a
was a
bad
nice
kid.
guy.
He was like trying to be better, and just a lot of circumstances.
God, I love Bully.
That game is
My
favorite
Canis
Rockstar
Canem
game.
edit.
Algae.
Yeah.
Canis Canem edit in the
Prince
UK.
Algae. My mom calls me Prince Algae. That's all I'd hear constantly playing that game. Oh my god, Algernon, please.
What game's good? The music is really good in that game
Yeah,
too.
it is. One of the main themes is frequently used in hip hop remixes. That ding 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 ding. It's very good background bass.
Speaking of big departures, though, Rod Ferguson leaves the Coalition to head up the Diablo franchise at Blizzard.
Rod Ferguson gets games shipped.
Yeah.
He is clearly going for the final.
He's the fixer.
I was going to say something awful. The final bits of Diablo 4.
He's probably he's got a reputation. What?
Oh, I'll tell you later. I was going to make a terrible joke.
Do it.
No.
He's got a reputation for almost like getting projects on
Getting
the right
it
track,
out
and
the
getting
door.
them out the door. He did it with BioShock Infinite, and like he's done it with a bunch of Gears games.
Well, when we were talking to him for audio logs, he was like, "Yeah, we had 18 months to ship the original Gears of War. Right? You don't get that done unless you have a producer who
like
is
him,
keeping everyone to task."
Mm-hmm. Audio logs, the last filmed interview with Rod Ferguson as head of the Coalition.
Yeah.
Watch it now.
That's wild.
But yeah, that's. I think that bodes well for Diablo as a franchise and Blizzard. I mean, like he's known as the fixer, but I think that kind of reputation and is kind of undersells what he does. He's also great at having a creative vision and pushing new ideas, which is what he did at the Coalition. It's like under his stewardship, like the Gears franchise, like left Dom and Marcus behind, and I mean they're still in the games and Baird and those guys, but it's like a new generation started to move into semi-open world, vehicular kind of movement, that kind of stuff. So he does have ideas and is able to take ideas and execute on them as well. So him going to Blizzard helps Diablo 1 both get out the door, but he's there to look after the Diablo franchise. He's not there to ship Diablo 4. He's there as like his role at the Coalition was like head of the studio that is in charge of Gears of War. Now he's head of Diablo. So future Diablo titles should be interesting or have a more coherent vision, which is what they kind of need now, given the recent problems with Blizzard. And I mean, the recent problems with Blizzard are way more than just what Diablo is. And not to be reductive around that kind of stuff, but like Diablo has had a bit of a optics issue, shall we call it, with that mobile game, and also
Dude, I'm legit excited for that mobile game.
I'm well up for it.
Everyone needs to grow up.
Everyone needs to relax a bit, but like I mean, I don't think there's been an outright bad Diablo game ever, and Blizzard still hasn't put out
mate,
almost said Blizzard still hasn't put out, and then I remembered what happened this week. Oh yikes!
Warcraft 3
Warcraft 3 Reforged is not great, but there's more to why that's not great than simply the game is bad.
Yeah.
The game is functional and it works and it's enjoyable in some respects. It's just stuff around it. So like I've got enough faith in the developers of that game to put out a decent Diablo project.
Yeah, well, I mean, what's interesting too is being at BlizzCon and after all the stuff about Diablo 4, when everyone's like, when's this game supposed to come out? And they're like, We don't know. So
it's like
kind of
Overwatch 2, right?
like, you know, like Rod Ferguson ships games, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, maybe that'll shorten the timeline, or maybe you know, give us something more concrete to like hang our hat on about when Diablo 4 will actually come out.
He has to leave Canada though. He's a very Canadian boy, from what I could tell. That's gonna make him sad, probably.
Before we move on to listener questions, can I just add in a news story that we haven't written down here, but that I would like just to
You can read
alert everyone to?
All news stories on GameSpot.com.
Is that Cliff Bleszinski's still working on his book?
What? Oh, that story
have
is.
And also,
No,
he
I mean,
made
that
Lawbreakers
story-
too woke.
That story is ridiculous and like, oh god. But he released a couple pages from his memoir like 3 years ago, and he's scrubbed them from the internet. But every so often he tweets that he is still working on it. There is nothing more that I want in this life than to read Cliff Bleszinski's book.
When that comes out, I am immediately adapting it into a video series.
I just feel like on the team, it's me, you, Chris, P, and Eddie are just like, where's the book? Because he's been to publishers and they say that he's working on it. I just want to know what a video game development memoir for someone who's had a career and a life like Cliff Bleszinski would be.
I mean, the dude put out some good games.
Yeah.
I just hope it has no sexual content whatsoever.
Oh,
No, that would
Unlike his
afraid-
Twitter account.
Admittedly, in some of the pages that he released, he talked about having sex with someone and then they listened to Evanescence.
Evanescence.
No,
yeah.
I don't. That's not what I want to read. I don't want that.
Those transcripts have been deleted off Twitter, sadly.
They've been fully deleted. I've searched.
But he tweeted about giving it to his publicist, and his publicist described it as what? Was it? It described it as like, what's that Anthony Bourdain's book?
Yeah. It was the Anthony Bourdain of gaming. I just really want to know.
I cannot wait for that.
I'm kind of overwhelmed by this.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna read that.
Join our
We're
Slack
all
channel.
gonna read that.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my.
I'm
update.
not gonna read it. I'm telling you right now.
I'm gonna highlight the choice quotes and just like repeat them.
Yeah, I'm
that's probably
relying
the way
on
to
you
do
to
it.
tell me.
This is very off topic, but I just started reading Kanye West Owes Me $300 at your recommendation.
It's good, isn't it?
The first chapter. I've only read the first chapters, and that was very good. Yeah.
It's a banger. Do you know about Kanye West Owes Me $300?
No.
So it's about a guy who he used to be on a podcast called Get Up On This. And at one point in time, he was the hottest rapper in America. He was
you
like,
told me about this.
he
Yeah.
was
Hot Carl.
Hot Carl. He went under that name, Hot Carl, which is admittedly not a good name, and he recognizes that. And there's he recounts how he got that bad name, and he's like, "This is a bad name, and I know it's bad, but it's all I could do."
But I'm gonna own it.
Yeah, but I'm gonna own it. But he was like one of the most well-known and aggressively like good battle rappers, and they used to have this like ongoing radio show where people would phone in and do they would battle rap, and he's, I believe, still got it, or he had the record for like most consecutive wins, and he got all the way to the point of like he's worked with Missy Elliott, he worked with like Busta Rhymes, a bunch of well-known hip-hop artists. He got to the point just before making it big, and then failed. And then this is his story about how he got to that point and his experience of that point. And it's called Kanye West Owes Me $300, but it's fascinating. And it's not like it actually starts with him almost dying. Like, yeah. So it's like, but he's not like bitter about it. He's just like, I had a run and it was fun.
Wow.
And it's like, and then I went on to, just do other things. He's fairly
From Woodland Hills.
He is.
I know where that is.
So he was like, his whole story was like, I was the only person that enjoyed rap music and battle rap, and like, now he's from an area which is like, now, is it Calabasas?
Well, yeah. So he went to school in Calabasas, from what I read, but his family was from Woodland Hills.
They are like next
right,
to each other.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a really good, interesting, fun, breezy read.
Ooh.
I read quite a bit this morning, and it
Also-
was easy to get through. It was entertaining.
Just for context, Calabasas is where the Kardashians.
And that's featured in the book.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. There is a gated community in Woodland Hills that has like 24/7 security, and it's where rich, famous people live. Sorry, in Calabasas. And then Woodland Hills is like diet Calabasas.
Yeah. So he talks about what Woodland Hills and Calabasas are now, and talks about how it was back then, where he was the outsider for liking rap music, and like had to find people to battle, and that's how he became one of the best battle rappers. It was like he was aggressively looking for battles. And there's also an episode, a story about almost getting blown up by a grenade.
Oh.
Wait, and the spoilers that happens in the book?
That's not a spoiler. That's a teaser.
Oh, wow. All right. Anyway, moving right on to listener questions. Who wants to take the first one?
I'll take this one because I brought this thing up. So
Okay.
this is from Joe in Seattle. Hey team, listening to episode 26. Oh wait, we should plug the email address.
Oh, yeah. And if you have questions, please email us at after... I don't know which camera to look at.
All the
Look at
cameras.
that one. Please email us at afterdark. I stopped looking at it right when I read it. I looked down. Please email us at afterdarkpodcast@gamespot.com. Take it away.
Hey team, listening to episode 26, y'all brought up Cormac McCarthy's The Road. I just realized I've been staring sadly at a wall for like 5 minutes thinking about it. Yeah, that book ruins you. Ever had a game give you that The Road feeling or just strong sad feels? The Last of Us seems like an obvious choice for me, though I never finished it.
You gotta finish it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because
Dude,
it just
Oh,
ramps
yeah.
up. The
Yeah,
ending
the
is
road,
like
the road bit is at the end. I don't know what road bit you're talking about.
That one moment in Gears 2, I think, where Dom finds his wife is another one. Thanks, that's from Joe in Seattle.
It's a Cliffy B game.
For me, in Mass Effect 3, where I thought Grunt was dead, I was in floods of tears at that point.
Morden.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've told this on the podcast before.
Yeah.
I accidentally saved him, and I was like, "What are you guys complaining about?" He's fine.
Oh, you! Wow.
Yeah, there's like one super specific
you robbed
path
him
you
of
can
his,
do
his redemption.
in Mass Effect 3. Yeah, but I got those war credits.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
From war credits.
I have clinical depression, so most things
Tetris.
make me sad. I guess I don't know. Whenever I think about Red Dead Redemption, I
Oh yeah,
I
actually,
really get messed up.
The end
That's
of
what I
Red
was
Dead
going to say. I was
1.
going to say the ending of Red Dead 1
Yeah.
Also, Red Dead 2.
and Red Dead
There are
2.
some moments in Red Dead 2 where you're like,
Yeah, Red Dead 2, though, at least the ending was like more optimistic.
Yeah, Red
Yeah.
Dead 1
But the
is
ending
like
of Red Dead 1 was
soul
like,
crushing.
Jesus.
yeah.
You guys
Yeah.
play Soma?
Whoa. Jean-Luc just talked in the intercom and scared the shit out of Lucy.
Because it's right there.
I was gonna say, have you guys played Soma?
Have we played
Yeah.
so much?
I started to. I didn't finish it. I've been wanting to go back to it, though.
That one messed me up.
I forgot about the voice of God, and it
Yeah,
got me as
that
well.
was.
Sorry, Lucy.
It's okay.
Ooh.
I would say To the Moon also actually. Really
Oh, yeah.
messed
Oh,
me
I
up.
haven't played that,
To
but
the
I've
Moon is
heard,
great.
yeah.
To the Moon's really good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Oh, Florence.
Oh yeah, Florence,
Florence will.
which is coming to Switch and PC on February 13th.
Yeah, just in time for Valentine's Day.
That's what I wrote in the news story.
I cried so much playing Florence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like what, an hour and a half? Hour?
If that, it's about an hour, yeah.
If you want to Valentine's Day, pick that game up and you can live
Play it with
the,
your significant
the
other.
soaring highs and crushing lows of a relationship in 1 hour. Enjoy.
It's great.
There's various moments in Metal Gear. Metal Gear 3 obviously stands out, but you have to, at the end, take care of.
Yeah.
Yeah. People get
This
it.
is a good scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I cried for about 20 minutes after finishing Death Stranding. Just because,
yeah.
just everything.
That noise was not good.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Death Stranding. What else what this gen has made me?
Yeah, I don't think anything. I think Death Stranding's a good one. Because
Yeah.
you kind of, you exist in that kind of like melancholy for so long.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really mess up in The Witcher 3 and you make some bad decisions and bad things happen to Ciri, that's pretty bad.
I
Yeah,
got that
that's
ending and I
rough.
was like,
You got the
I
bad?
got the worst ending.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it didn't make me cry though. I just sat and went, oh yeah, I could see where
And it like
here.
it like flashes back to all the points where you
Yeah.
could have done something better,
Yeah.
and it's just like, I'm a bad dad.
How
Yeah.
about the Outer Worlds? Outer Wilds, sorry.
I didn't finish it.
Still doing it. I think there's probably some like the road moments in there.
Yeah. I am actually playing Plague Tale right now, but I don't know if there's road
Nah,
It's
I don't
got
think
road
it does.
vibes.
Nah, it's got
Well,
road vibes. But
Jean-Luc forgot to, after we caught a shiny Snorlax, Jean-Luc forgot to save.
Yeah.
So he lost the shiny Snorlax. That's like
Shiny Gigantamax.
a shiny
Snorlax.
Gigantamax Snorlax.
that is. Are you all right?
We're all
Jean-Luc?
looking at the voice. We're all looking at the speaker,
Yeah,
waiting
look
for
at
Jean-Luc to chip in, but maybe he's crying right now and doesn't want to talk about it.
Don't want to talk about it.
He doesn't want to talk about it.
A lot
Yeah.
of stuff makes me sad. That's really
Me
it.
too.
I know you saw that puppy that dog the other day.
There was a dog in the office and
Trooper. Yeah.
and I went to pet the dog and then I walked away and the dog kept staring at me and then I began to cry.
He was an old boy, a rescue, and he had a big bandana
me.
around that said "Adopt me."
They put 3 bins in his way, and he was like, "Well, I'm stuck here for life."
Yeah, because he can't go up and down stairs. He's so old, and just to block him off from walking around the office, they put bins, and he was just like,
But he was
"Oh,
still he was
foiled
still,
again."
He was still in an area where he could look through meeting room doors.
Yeah.
So people were having meetings, and this dog would just appear and be like,
Hello.
"What's going on there?"
Hello. And he was so soft and just
He
a
was
nice
so
boy.
sweet.
I just
wanted
remembered-
to take him home.
Mass Effect Legion.
Yeah.
Does this unit have a soul?
Yeah.
Like that gets me. I was
Yeah.
like, does it though?
My dog is 12 and in good health, and sometimes I think about her dying and I cry.
Oh my god.
You're not my dog.
Ugly.
Anyway,
Wait, no, I
Callie.
can't quote that vine. Never mind.
The next question is for you, so I'm going to read it. You can
Okay.
answer it. Hey everyone, but mostly Callie. I've been reviewing games for an indie site, and I was wondering what your advice was for pitching freelance reviews to GameSpot. This is from Sam Harrison. He's written a couple times. Friend of the show.
Callie, it's me, Sam. How do I get
Speed Dead Man.
review man?
So I liked this question because I do get pitches for specific reviews, but actually I think the best way to pitch, to us at least, is to pitch your review expertise in general. Your skill with writing reviews, what genres and platforms that you can confidently cover. Because for me, I'm not looking for individual reviewers. I'm looking for long-term, like you review games as a freelancer for GameSpot. So for me, those are the kinds of pitches I'm looking for is, hi, I am a reviewer. Here are some samples. These are the kinds of games I like to review. I do look for like a diversity in expertise. So like I get a lot of people who like narrative-based indie games. And the sad fact is that everybody likes those, and I have too many people who are good at reviewing those.
Sports games. That's where it's at.
Oh, yeah.
That's where the
games.
money's at.
Sports and racing.
The more niche you are, I mean, like, this isn't to say that liking popular things and being good at reviewing them isn't useful, but 4X games, like really hardcore strategy games, think like more than Civilization, like
Europa Universalis.
exactly,
Yeah.
like the really hardcore strategy games, like niche RPGs and sports are like the hardest things to assign. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking for reviewers who are dedicated to critique, who are good writers first and foremost. I think the mistake a lot of people when they're starting out in this industry make is being like, oh, I play anything, like I love games. And it's like, no. Why do you like criticism? Why do you like writing criticism? What is your writing skill? And then what specifically do you enjoy writing about? So specificity is something I look for in an overall pitch. And like I said, I'm taking pitches for like long-term, like I'm doing reviews in general rather than specific games. It does take a little bit to onboard people. So I can't, like, if the game's coming out tomorrow, I can't take your pitch because I can't get you into the system where you would get paid. So
I used to, or like occasionally I'd take pictures as well for when I was doing stuff more in the UK. And I would always ask like, what's coming up that you are interested in? That's a good thing to do as well. I mean, you're pitching Callie more than me now these days, but like a list of things that's coming up. But importantly, I used to get people who are like, hey, yeah, I'm interested in The Last of Us 2. And you're like, come on, man.
that's going to be
Like,
somebody here.
Think about whether like we trust our reviewers, but we also want to make sure that certain games are reviewed by a core member of staff.
Because everybody here does
we
like
all do reviews.
reviews. It's not just a freelance thing, and there are big games that people want to review here. But yeah, I do really like getting the like, here's what I'm interested in over time in the next month, in the next 2 months, because that helps me if I'm looking at a list of games. A, what are my reviewers interested in reviewing? Because I might not have that game on my radar, you know, or B, like what are my choices when I'm faced with a game that nobody on staff is knowledgeable in or interested in? Okay, who on my freelance team can I lean on for this? So yeah, those things are important.
Also, don't live in California, right?
The law is very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This country is wild.
Well, California in particular, right, is pretty tricky with onboarding freelancers, isn't it?
It can be. I mean, AB5 is the law, so but
Yeah.
that doesn't like preclude anybody.
yeah.
It's just
It's just trickier.
it's just a little tricky. But I definitely am taking pitches, like I said, general pitches. So if you, and I should clarify, I don't take like, oh, I've never reviewed a game, but I want to. Unfortunately, that's just not something that we as a site can do. If you have experience at other sites, if you have a portfolio of work, definitely do that. And then if you are interested in writing reviews, but you've never done it, definitely look at small sites and pitch reviews that way, or even write reviews like on a blog, on your Tumblr, like just get some body of writing. That's what I did. I actually just wrote blog review kind of things. And as a freelancer, I mostly did reviews. But I would say like, I mean, it's an interesting, reviews are an interesting beast. So
They're a good time.
and then I would say the last thing is, if you're interested in reviewing a game for GameSpot, definitely read GameSpot reviews to get a sense of what our style is. I think that's also a challenge is people having a different idea of what the purpose of a review is. So if you just read some GameSpot reviews, I am very attentive in editing. I am proud of every review that goes on the site. I sign off on every single one. So anyone can be an example for you to read and see like this is kind of what the idea is. So, yeah.
Does it count as reading if I scroll to the bottom and look at the score?
No.
Okay.
No.
I just wanted to, I'm sure some people may be thinking that, so I want to ask that.
And before
You've written some reviews.
Lucy has too.
Reviews.
Sam has too.
And we're not even writers, the two of
No.
us.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said that. Tamora is on editorial
is
too.
it?
but
Yeah.
reviewing shit all day long. No,
You love writing reviews.
I do, but
They take a lot of time.
not 50-hour games in one day embargoes like Sekiro. Holy
Or-
moly.
Yeah, I like writing reviews. I don't like when I publish them and it goes badly for me.
I mean, like the last year was a rough review. Like, what was it? Sekiro was rough for me and
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts. But then you had like Death Stranding.
I did
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, Death Stranding, and then Pokemon all just
Yeah.
I
like
was
back to back.
I was like, oh my lord.
I'm never doing Call of Duty again. I am saying that here on air. I'm never reviewing Call of Duty again. Somebody else can do that.
I'll review Sekiro again.
What?
How about Bloodborne again?
I'll review 10 out of 10. Bloodborne.com.
Bloodborne.com.
Yeah, that's my new website. I'm leaving. Sad to announce that today.
Callie, do you want to take the next one?
Sure. Heyo, After Dark crew. I've been listening since episode 1 and loved everything since. Thank you. My question for you all is more a cry for help. Every time I go to play a massive game in the vein of The Witcher 3 and Breath of the Wild, I always start out strong but quickly fall off because of their daunting scope. Here's my question. Do any of you have this same problem? If so, do you have any advice on how to overcome this so I can finally play these amazing games? Keep up the amazing work. Tanner from Evansdale, Iowa. Thank you, Tanner.
Yes. I get distracted really quick. Really easily.
I fall off really fast.
It helps to just stick to the critical path and
For a
just,
while.
For a while, and then once you realize that maybe this side quest looks interesting, I want to go explore that, or maybe there's a collectible that I want to go for. Try and do it that way, and hopefully that the main path, the main story will get its hooks in you, and you'll want to keep going with it. But no, I totally feel that because some games they just offer just so much and you're like, I don't know if I have the time or the energy or the willpower to do it all.
Or you're like, I'm going to spec into the wrong thing. And then 20 hours in, I'm going to think I need to restart.
Yeah.
Or you're going to be my roommate who's like, I think I missed a Gwent card. I don't know what to do. Or me, where I'm lucky that I'm friends with Jake, because then I would never have played The Witcher because I'd be like, I don't even know who Dandelion is, help. So having friends that know things about the game can be helpful. Very intimidating.
Dragon Age Inquisition. That
Once you get out the hinterlands,
play
baby.
that game.
Moly. Like the problem with that one was it was unclear what the main path was.
Yeah.
So, like people were like, I remember we had to publish an article which was leave the first area immediately.
Yeah.
Because that stuff is just time wasting.
The hinterlands.
Come back
is an
later to the
entire
hinterlands.
time wasting area.
Time wasting area, and stick to the main path. I think that Assassin's Creed Odyssey is also a great game, but I think it has some of that Dragon Age Inquisition hinterlands.
That game's got a lot of fat.
Yeah, it's got a lot
Wow,
of
I was
fat.
picturing Super Mario Odyssey for a second.
What?
And I was like,
That
that
would be-
one's not intimidating at all.
No.
Although unless you try to get all the what are they the
moons.
the
Yeah,
moons,
the
then
moons.
it's
Yeah.
there's
I
like
gave up on
what
that
700 or
Yeah,
some
it's too many.
absurd number.
But like I find sticking to the main path and also like not trying to binge play it. So I like surprisingly like I fell off. I had this issue with the first Mass Effect, and like I got it day one. Like actually, I think I broke the streak date because I was working in retail, so I purchased it on a staff discount earlier. I was like, later, fools. I'm out. And like I started playing it and I couldn't get into it, and I kept getting distracted. And then I realized like, oh, it's a kind of a slow start to begin with.
It
and
throws so much at you.
and it's like
whole
very
new world.
overwhelming. And then like I found the other thing that I recommend is like you just have to be in a good, like a specific mood sometimes to get into it. You have to be ready to accept a big game into your heart at the time, and that means like not having distractions. And I remember I got into Mass Effect after I had like completed, I think, like an assignment or something, and like got into like this like darkened room, sat down, like headphones on, and then like I think when I got into it I played like 12 hours straight. And then that's what it's like. Just sometimes you have to accept that you're not in the mood for it, or you just can't do it. Whether that's because you got kids as a distraction or something else that is on your mind. Like, don't try and force it when you deep down probably know now's not the right time to play that. Play something small. I think a lot of us do that, where we'll get ready for something big or come off. My voice just left the planet. We'll get ready for a big game or like decompress from a big game by playing loads of small experiences or like something smaller. Like you can do that. It's fine.
I would say also, like with Breath of the Wild in particular, I think that's a game that's designed to like, there's no path you're going to take that's going to get you totally lost. Like I think some of the games that are critically acclaimed are critically acclaimed for a reason, and those are the games that are not going to leave you hanging. So it can be easier said than done, but maybe keep in mind, like, you know what, I'm just going to follow where I'm curious, and this game is going to reward me for that, and then I'll keep going. So I think Breath of the Wild is a fantastic example of that. I even think like on a smaller scale, like Disco Elysium is a game that if you just follow where you're curious, that game will carry you through. But at first it can be... Unless you're Mike, but that game can at first be very overwhelming. But if you just are like, you know what, the bookstore seems cool, that's all you need. And I think Breath of the Wild is just a much bigger version of that. You're like, that's a pretty place to go, and you go there. So that can help too, is like letting go of, like for me, a big problem with these games is perfectionism. Like I'm going to spec into the wrong thing, or actually, like I restarted KOTOR so many times to respec at the beginning.
It's not an easy game to restart over and over again either.
I really enjoy the character building part of that game, of games like that. But just being like, you know what, unless I'm playing on the hardest difficulty, this game is not going to punish me for like specking into a weird thing, unless like there is an article on GameSpot.com that tells you to not do a certain thing.
Almost certainly will be. I think Outer Worlds was good for that. Like it was it's a game that feels big, but actually is quite contained. And if you follow the main path, you get pretty much everything you would want out of that kind of experience out of it. And if you are worried about things like speccing, the respec stations available maybe 10 minutes into the game, 15 minutes into the game, and it doesn't like really punish you super hard for respecing a bunch of times. So I hope there's more games like that kind of are more like time cognizant and making sure that, you know, they're designed in a way that facilitates people like that.
I also think it's okay to just like not finish games.
Oh,
If
yeah,
you're not
totally.
feeling it, like it's fine.
I do that a lot, honestly, because if a game doesn't draw me in pretty early on, I have a very hard time continuing it, especially like where we're at now, right? Like there's so many games that we're expected to play, and I'll play a lot of games just to see if it's my kind of thing. And if it's not my thing, I will fall off. And I used to feel bad about that, probably because I was in college and I was trying to pay for these games. And when I got a game, I was like, I got to play all of this. I got to make every cent count. So I guess we're fortunate in that, like, if there's a game that I'm playing and I'm like, everyone likes it and I play an hour and I'm like, yeah, it's not for me. I can just drop it. But I will say even then, like, even when I was in school and stuff like that, if a game's style didn't like pull me in right away, especially for longer games, there's a good chance that I just wouldn't do it. Like I couldn't get on board with Assassin's Creed games for the most part, even though I got them, probably because, like, I don't know, the story just didn't grip me ever. Except for I finished 3, oddly. I don't know why I finished 3 of all of them.
3?
But, like, yeah, I really liked Odyssey and Black Flag. Those are the 2 that was the most of Assassin's Creed game I played. But yeah, I would say for the most part, like, there are a lot of games that I just fall off right away. But then there's games like The Witcher 3, which I played 4 or 5 times, and I'm just like, I don't need to play this game anymore, but that world is just so engrossing. And I imagine similar things will happen.
4 or 5 times?
It's like 5.5. But I'm sure the same thing is going to happen with, like, Cyberpunk, right? Because that world I'm already super into. Like I said before, I think about Animal Crossing on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Dude,
And,
AC Pocket News is the best Twitter account because they're
it's
just
a
like,
good
there's
Twitter
a
account.
bike in the background of this promo art. Can you write it? And I'm like, I would love to know. I love that Twitter account.
It's very good.
I love just Animal Crossing, like, fan accounts on YouTube and stuff like that, because they cling on to the weirdest
They
stuff
have
and they get
knees now.
they get so excited about the stupidest things, like knees,
The
for example,
animals have sleeves.
or like animals have sleeves, or like it's just like
Rory was
it's so wholesome.
Rory was tweeting the other day. He was like, I've never been into Animal Crossing, but I've just discovered this whole subset of froggy chair memes.
yeah.
Oh my god, I had no idea froggy chair
Froggy
memes
chair
went
memes,
so
mate.
deep. But I'm
Animal
very into
Crossing
it.
is the best
Love it.
thing ever.
I'm
I
kind of glad
cannot
that the Switch is
fucking
sold
wait.
out. I'm glad because it was in my cart and I was
I
like,
pre-ordered it.
I know you did, and that's why I was like, I want it, and I went on to Best Buy and I put it in my cart, and I was like, oh, it's gonna take the money now. It's January, my dudes.
That's
I
awesome.
was
when
like,
pre-ordered,
I
and
don't
was
need
like,
money. Let me buy MCR tickets. Let me buy this Switch. What's money?
I was gonna buy MCR tickets, and then so Kurt was trying to get them for us, and he was like, the pit is $250 a ticket. And I was like, I'm good.
I
don't-
have extras if you want at $80 a ticket.
Oh, I could do that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk after. Thank you.
Tamor, I think it's you. You want to do the last one, the
Oh.
longest one?
Hi everyone, Jeff from Nashville here. My wife and I recently started watching Battlestar Galactica.
Yes, mate.
It's my second full time through and her first. It's an incredibly well written character drama and some of the best world building I've seen in a show. It works so well, in fact, I recently noticed my coworker regularly saying frack at work.
Yeah, mate.
He's been saying it so long that he forgot it came from the show. I hear that and gods a lot from other fans of the show. My questions are twofold. Do any of you have shows you've picked up slang from? If so, which shows and which words? I seem to remember Lucy was a big fan of the show for some old tweets. Battlestar. So this one is for her and anyone else who has seen it. All of us, yeah. Have you seen it?
Nope.
Get a grip.
This side.
Have you noticed how little Gaius Baltar blinks?
What?
He doesn't blink that much. It's part of his intensity.
Never thought about
Yeah.
it.
I can't find anything on the internet about it, but good lord, that man is 100% on tilt the entire show. He absolutely, he's like
I
on
mean-
tilt episode 1.
Yeah,
and he never
yeah.
stops
If you
being on
cause
tilt.
the almost complete annihilation of the human
Yeah.
race, wouldn't you be on tilt?
You're all awesome. Thanks for all you do, Jeff.
So, Jeff, I want to let you know that when I was in college, I took a Battlestar Galactica class for credit.
Yeah, mate.
It was I had
Some of my
already
favorite
seen the
things
show.
about you.
I had already seen the show, and then I took the class on it, where we would watch episodes in class, and then it would be like, "So what about God?" And I'd be like, "Yeah," like that was the whole class. It was sick.
33 is one of the best episodes of television
Oh man,
of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Guy
It's
Spalter is an
incredible.
incredible character.
He
I've
really is.
I never thought about the blinking thing though. I think it's just
No.
like part of he's just playing the character so well. You know,
Yeah.
think about it.
I've been rewatching The Office, and the only thing that comes to mind about Battlestar Galactica is Beats Bears and
Yeah,
Battlestar
Bears,
Galactica.
Battlestar Galactica.
I don't know, that's all I got.
I went through a phase of saying frack. I think if you watch Battlestar Galactica, you kind of you go
I
through
definitely
that
did
phase.
that. Yeah.
What is
You know,
frack? Is like,
frack is
It's
their
the-
way of
It's
swearing.
It's the
Wow.
F word,
Because
yeah.
if you think about the world in which the characters of Battlestar Galactica live, is that like the robot uprising, like very reductive, but the robot uprising existed and humanity is essentially on the run. They have nothing. They have like no food, no fuel. They're just on ships in space. How are you not going to be swearing through that at all? So they've come up with a sanitized. They make up their own swear word.
Yeah, because what? It was like a Warner Bros. WB or
Sci-fi.
something?
Sci-fi.
Oh, sci-fi.
Yeah.
Sci-fi.
One thing I really like about the world building in that show is all the pieces of paper have the corners cut
Yes.
off.
Yes,
I love that.
very good.
Yeah,
I used to
was
have
really into
the
that.
I used to have the Starbuck tags too. And I had
Just remember the overweight Adama era.
now get your fat ass out of here. That was
The first time he walks through the door, I was
You're
like,
like,
"What
God.
is happening?"
It really rivals Fat Mac from
Yeah.
It's Always Sunny.
Except Fat Mac, he actually did put the weight on.
That's
Like
like
in
a
Battlestar Galactica,
He's
he
just-
wears a really bad prosthetic, and
Yeah.
it's like,
Are you okay?
So I actually watched today because Stephen Colbert, the Colbert Show, a fine CBS.
Fine CBS
a fine
property.
Viacom CBS property.
Viacom CBS property. Rob McElhenney came on that show, I think, a couple
For
days
Mythic-
ago,
Mythic
and
Quest?
he talked about about Fat Mac, and he was like, "Yeah, in Friends, I noticed how everyone just kept getting nicer and nicer because they had more money. So I want to do the opposite, and I just wanted to like destroy my body." And that's what he did. And,
Yeah.
And Stephen Colbert was like, "So which one did your wife like more, the ripped Mac or the Fat Mac?" And he's like, "The Fat Mac because I was jolly all the time."
That was jolly.
I love that couple a lot.
I love them.
We should probably answer the question. Do you have any shows you've picked up slang from?
Not-
If so, which shows and what are the words?
Not
from
specific slang, but I reference Arrested Development all the
Yeah, I
time,
was
and
gonna
and
say.
at the point now where it's unconscious, I just don't even realize. People ask me how I'm doing or something, and I will just say, "It's good. It's going to be good." Like Rob and I do that all the time.
I went through a marry me phase.
Yeah.
Scrubs is mine. I
Yeah,
do a
you
lot
do a
of
lot of-
Scrubs. Like
I say Brinner. Like I refer to Brinner as an actual meal.
it's good.
Breakfast for dinner.
When I was home visiting my parents a couple months ago, there was a dead bird in the fridge, and I was like, I don't know why I asked, and they were
Yeah.
like, I don't get it, and I was like, never mind.
Nah, it doesn't matter.
Wait,
Why was there a dead bird?
They explained to me. I don't remember because I was just thinking about it. I was just thinking about Arrested Development.
Michael.
yeah.
I think it was because my mom found a bird and it died pretty quickly, and she didn't know what to do with it, so she froze it.
Put it outside.
Well, no, it was
She
alive.
froze it.
It was alive at the time, and
Did you put it in the fridge?
No. I don't know. I don't know.
So anyway,
All I
You
know is
did.
that there was like a Tupperware and there was a dead bird in there, and I was like, the fuck?
We did so well not to swear. Now you're gonna have to bleep that out.
No, it's
we're
an explicit
explicit
show
now.
now.
Oh, we're explicit now.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well,
fuck yeah.
fuck yeah. I do a lot of Simpsons, not specifically lines from The Simpsons, but I'll just in the middle of things, I'll be like, oh, that's just like the Simpsons episode where blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Perfectly cromulent.
Perfectly.
Perfectly
I was going to say,
cromulent.
I like cromulent. I use cromulent and I use embiggen.
And biggin, yeah.
And then I'll do the Always Sunny, I'm eating because I'm very uncomfortable. And then I think I've done the like, take a 5.
Yeah.
Dennis,
Take a 5.
Take a 5.
I do that to Mike Mahadi.
Yeah. So yeah, it's mostly just we quote things. We quote a lot of vines. We did that on this episode already.
I do. Thanks.
It's
a
an
lot. I don't even say it's an
avocado.
avocado. It's just the inflection on thanks.
Avocado.
Yeah, we quote vines all the time.
While driving, I gotta do a road work ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I sure hope it does.
He has a really good YouTube channel, Drew Gooden, where he does like video essays about stuff. He did a really good one about Logan Paul. He does a lot about Logan Paul.
Yeah.
But he also did stuff about The Office. It's very good.
What have you got in your hand?
A knife.
No.
Yeah, we quote vines all the time.
The Office had such an incredible impact on That's What She Said jokes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just groundbreaking, really.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Also, watch the episode when Michael's trying to be serious and Jim's like, "Oh wow, this must have been really hard, right?" And
Yeah.
Michael's just like,
You've always left me smiling and satisfied. Yeah. I also do I Feel God in This Chili's Tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot
Yeah.
Miss Chili's tonight.
Watched that episode as well.
Futurama actually for me.
Yeah,
I was just
Futurama's a
thinking.
big one.
I've been watching it again recently because I want to see the live show as part
We
of
should start
Sketchfest.
saying axe.
Let me axe you again.
Yeah. We should start doing that.
Yeah, because Leela was doing that we watched the episode where Roswell begin again.
Mm-hmm.
When she's like, "Let me axe you again."
Yeah.
Also, the fact that my favorite running joke in Futurama is that owls are pests.
Yeah.
I definitely went through a good news,
news,
everyone.
Good news,
Yeah.
everyone. Bad news, everyone.
Which is your favorite good news, everyone?
Oh, that I would actually need to really think about that. I've been thinking about doing a Futurama rewatch.
It's always good.
It's all on Hulu. It's very good.
Mine is good news, everyone. You're not good enough to go on your next mission, which is a huge mood.
You know what got worn out really quickly by the internet, unfortunately, was the
Shut Up and Take
Blackjack
My Money.
Hookers.
Oh, yeah, Blackjack
Also
and
that
Hookers.
one.
I actually no. I'll tell you what I use all the time, which is related to blackjack and hookers. It's shut up, baby, I know it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
You know, from TikTok, we've been doing, wow, didn't know it did that.
Wow, didn't know it did that.
And then you know what? No.
No.
TikTok is good. Stealing all your data, but it
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah.
But no, did not notice that about Guy Spaltar. Also, Alucard in Castlevania,
Yeah.
just coming back.
He's one of my top Twitter follows.
Me too.
I love him.
He followed me because when we were doing GameSpot of Thrones, the HBO store sent us a little three-eyed raven, and I called mine Guy Spaltar because I was like, oh, Game of Thrones is going down this weird path where it's like all of this has happened before and all this will happen again. And so I called him Guy Spaltar, and then I tweeted that, and then someone tagged him in, and he followed me.
I think mine was from
And I was like,
Castlevania.
Very nice. He's very pleasant online.
He's a good lad.
Online profiles. That sounded weird, but like he's good on Twitter.
I was really a proponent of Katie Sackhoff as
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, she.
I didn't see the movie, so I don't know. I don't know anything about Brie
It
Larson.
was fine.
If you are
I
watching
heard.
Battlestar Galactica, may I recommend the Battlestar Galacticast?
Yeah, with Trisha Helfer.
Which is Trisha Helfer and Mark Bernardin. Mark Bernardin's on Kevin Smith's podcasts, and he co-hosts that. She's never seen the series start
She's
to
just
finish.
been in it.
She's only seen bits of it, and she's
Right.
obviously in it for the entire thing. But like they watch the show back together, and she like relays things that she obviously experienced in the production of that, and they bring in like Katie Sackhoff, and they bring in various members of
I
the
love that her and Katie Sackhoff are such good friends in real
Yeah.
life.
do
So
they
good.
do like
the guy who plays Soul Ty comes on, and he is Soul Ty like in real life.
do they do like a podcast episode per episode of television? Like of,
Yes,
Yeah,
I
it's like
believe. I mean,
Westworld
that's how
thing.
it started. I'm quite far behind because I
Yeah.
had to move countries while that was starting up. So I was like, I lost track of it. But I believe it was like an episode, and then they'll do, or like a couple of episodes. They always
Yeah.
tell you we're going to watch these episodes and we're going to discuss them.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the Battlestar Galactica bit on Portlandia?
Yes,
Yeah.
that was me with Battlestar Galactica when I
Yeah.
was at uni because I just bought the box set.
I was in college too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember watching it like on my laptop for hours.
Yeah.
Like go to bed at 6 a.m.
I did the exact same thing. I remember the first season, and then I told my roommate Ellie, and I was like, mate, you've got to get on this. And then I lent it to her, and it was this weird tandem thing where we would go to the
Tandem.
Very good,
Also,
very good.
my voice went off into space
Yeah.
as well. This is getting really emotional about Battlestar Galactica. And then we would go to Computer Exchange, CEX, who are now
Yes.
stylizing themselves as sex, which is okay. It's a secondhand shop in the UK where we buy DVDs and games and stuff. And we would go and then we would buy the box set, and then whoever bought it would watch it first, and then you'd pass the disc to the other person. Oh, what a show.
What a show.
I told myself I would wear it for this episode because I knew this question was going to be here, but I have 2 Battlestar Galactica shirts. I have
yeah, you
one,
do.
the tank top with Viper for Viper Pilot, and then I have a Cylon Spine shirt, which is my slutty Battlestar Galactica shirt.
I have the Starbuck tags, which is the only. I don't have a T-shirt. I did want to go with Starbuck for Halloween one year.
We could do a group.
We could.
Dibs on Adama.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
Also, one of the best uses of licensed music in TV.
God, it's
Very
in
solid.
the fracking wall.
It's in the wall.
God, it's so good.
Like, if you want to see it executed, it's like last episode of the final season.
If you also listen to the Battlestar Galactica soundtrack, there is a song called Battlestar Sonatica,
Something like that.
something
yeah.
like that, which is like this beautiful instrumental piece.
You would love Battlestar.
Mate, you really would.
You
And the
really
soundtrack's done by
would.
Bear McCreary, who did
It's
like Walking
about
Dead. And
Reaper indoctrination as an insidious means
Yeah,
of
you would love
corrupting
it.
organic minds.
You would love it.
Sure, I would.
It's so good.
You should watch it.
My favorite
How many
bit.
seasons is it? It's a lot of
4.
seasons.
Like four?
Oh, it's 4?
Yeah, and there's a couple of like movies, but if you
It's-
watch it
It's
on
a
Netflix,
semester's worth of episodes
Yeah.
if you're taking a
I don't know
class.
what that means.
if you watch it on Netflix, I think they put the movies in.
Yeah.
Because there's one about Pegasus, and then there's The Plan. Which
Oh,
is
they
the
put it
silent
in
one.
like the...
Yeah, in line, and so it makes sense.
Okay, okay.
It's, you will. I think you'll really dig it, and it's,
so
easy to
good.
get through as well. Like, it's once you start,
You
will-
don't
can't.
stop.
You really don't stop.
It's a banger.
That's.
It's a banger.
Have you seen that picture of the guy who played the original Starbuck with Kate Sackhoff as Starbuck in a Starbucks?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
What?
It went like viral a
Yeah.
while back. Yeah.
Very good.
It's good.
You'll
The-
understand in time.
The only thing I was going to add is that Mike and I talked about starting a podcast about It's Always Sunny, where we do an episode of the podcast for each episode of It's Always Sunny, but we didn't know how we'd get through season 1 because
Season
I've-
one
it's
is.
I've not
some
made it
hard
through
stuff to
season
talk
one.
about now.
Episode 2 is just like
I stopped
Off
watching
the
after like
rails.
3 episodes because I was like, "What is this, man? This is not good."
You gotta really give it a listen. The
it was
Nightman
very funny
Cometh.
in 2009 or whenever it came out.
The
but
Nightman
now
Cometh
it's-
is one of
I've seen the Nightmare.
I don't know, I was
premier
wa-
pieces of art. in
I've seen
art.
that
I
because
was
you made
watching-
me watch it.
Yeah, I did. An Airbnb. It was me, you, and Mace, and I was
Yeah.
like, guys, there's a whole channel of It's Always Sunny.
She
We're just
made
gonna
us watch it. She put it on and immediately fell asleep. First of all,
Look, I have an MO, and that is to put something on and then fall asleep.
and fall asleep.
That's- yeah,
and
that's
I
what
was
it is.
enjoying it. Mason was like,
Yeah, Mason was
"Come
having a
on,
good
can
time.
we put something else on? She's asleep."
Like, I watched season 1 again fairly recently, and it's still very good.
I'm sure it's still
I enjoy
funny.
it.
Still very funny.
I'm sure it's hilarious. In
You
fact,
just
I just don't know how I don't
you
like.
couldn't talk about it.
Like this was 3 or 4 years ago, and Mike and I were like, "Well, we just skipped like the first season or something like that."
I mean, some episodes, like even the episode titles, you can't even.
I
Sweet
bet
D
you.
dates.
I bet you.
Oh,
I bet you he would have some interesting things to say.
You know
about it.
what I love to say?
Let's get Rob McElhenney on here, and then
well,
he
get him
can-
as part of Mythic
that
Quest.
would be my dream.
Ubisoft.
He was hanging out with Stephen Colbert. Let's up the
Come
chain,
to
Stephen Colbert. Tell him to
another-
come here.
That I would die if we had him on.
I would die too.
Yeah.
I just, you know what I think about so often is, let me just pop an H on this box. That's when we know it's full of hornets. I think about that all the time.
Yeah. What's your favorite food? Milk steak.
Milk steak.
Looks like.
What?
What's that?
Anyway, I think
Whenever I eat junk food, I always am like, I'm cultivating mass.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, mate.
You should
Little
watch it.
green ghouls.
yeah. Little green
Kittens.
ghouls,
I
buddy.
just want to say Yike Mahadi. I've had it stuck in my head for ages. I just need it out of my head. Yike Mahadi.
I think that's as good as place as any to end episode 27 of GameSpot After Dark. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to GameSpot on YouTube. Leave comments. Send us questions at afterdarkpodcast@gamespot.com. Lucy, where can people find you on Twitter?
At Lucy James Games.
Callie,
At Inky Dojiko. INKYDOJIKKO.
Tamor,
At More H.
And you can find me at Jacob Deck. And for more GameSpot stuff, stay tuned to GameSpot. And like we've got a lot of
For more GameSpot stuff, go to IGN.com.
yeah, we have a lot of Apex stuff up as well for
Audio
this new
logs.
season, and audio logs.
On Shovel Knight,
There's a lot of good shit, so check it out.
GameSpot.com.
Play
Ignore
That's,
tomorrow.
that's all I got. We'll see you next week.